the one I was talking about with the two properties, the 145 Martin and the 148 Martin. I know. And explain. Okay. Yeah. So if we have the stipulation agreement, she can speak on behalf of the stipulation agreement.
Because it's not like she's up for the stipulation, so it's also what she wants.
Exactly.
I mean, we can, if she's already here and we go to some stipulation, we can certainly present it if in the shape, but we don't list anything.
Exactly.
So we could extend it until the magistrate needs to do.
Okay.
If she's physically here, and if the magistrate decides that she's actually contesting it in the stipulation, she can present the stipulation.
Exactly.
So, I think we just need to confirm, does she want a hearing or does she want a stipulation? Because the stipulation is literally, we agree to this, there's nothing else to be said.
Exactly.
So that's the only.
All set? Is the city ready to begin?
Yes, magistrate.
All right, with that, I'm going to call to order the City of Green Acres Code Enforcement hearing. Verizon says it's 1 o'clock, so we can go ahead and get started. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the special magistrate for today's hearing. First thing I'm going to do is, if you're here for a code enforcement matter, including city staff, if you could stand if you're able and raise your right hands for me. I'm going to swear you all in at the same time. So if you're here for a code enforcement case, you here for code? Perfect. Raise your right hands. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may be seated. A little bit about process. I think all of the items on today's agenda, if I'm not mistaken, or are violation hearings. So the way those are going to work is when you hear your case called, city staff is going to come to the podium here, which is on my left. They're going to present their case, present any witnesses that they have, show me any documents that they'd like me to enter into the record. And they're going to explain to me the nature of the violation and explain their case to me. When they're finished, you'll come to that same podium there to my left. You'll be able to show me any documents you have, say anything that you might want me to hear in terms of verbal testimony. You can cross-examine any witnesses that the city has called, and at the end of that, I'll make a final ruling, and you'll get an order that reflects that ruling in the mail. So with that, keep in mind that all of your testimony is given under oath, and I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
Did everyone sign in? Did you sign in? Yes. You have it? Okay. We're going to call item 2 on the agenda, case 3-24-10295. And this case will be presented by Carlos Maldonado. And the respondent is here.
Good afternoon. My name is Carlos Maldonado, co-compliance officer for the City of Green Acres. This case is CE 3-24-10295 for the property address 1001 Island Manor Drive, a homesteaded property. The property owner is listed as Alex Labosi. The property was first cited on October 24, 2023. And on 7/3/25, the property was cited with a notice of violation hearing notice for violations of Code Section 7-423G. Roof shall be sound, tight, and in good repair and condition. Section 105.4.1, permit intent, and Section 105.4, conditions of the permit. Magistrate, the city is dismissing sections 105.4.1 and 105.4. I have submitted a package of evidence which includes proof of ownership, the pop-up printout, a copy of the notice of violation, hearing notice dated July 3rd, 2025, in which they were given 10 days to comply by July 13, 2025. Proof of ownership of that notice. Notice was posted at the property in City Hall for at least 10 days. The affidavit of posting is included, and notice was mailed via certified mail and regular mail. Notice was also hand-delivered to the property owner, Mr. Alex Amosi, on July 10, 2025, which he signed for and was provided a copy and explained the contents of the notice. Photographic evidence is included, which depicts the roof covered with tarps and in a state of disrepair.
So you're dismissing all of the permit code sections, correct? All that's left is 7-423G?
Yes, dismissing both of those 105.4.1 and 105.4.
And from the photographs, it looks like there's a tarp or something on the roof, is that?
I'm sorry?
Can you explain to me the violation? There's a tarp on the roof, is that right, from the photos?
Yes, the violation that was cited was for the repair of the roof. It's in disrepair. It's been like that for a couple of years now.
Okay. What's the city asking for in terms of remedy for today?
Magistrate, the city is requesting 30 days to comply by August 15, 2025 for the repair and replacement of the roof. And as a reminder, I'd like to state for the record that the owner, in order to proceed with the repair of the roof, must reinstate the expired permit. And the city is requesting $50 a day thereafter if not complied by August 15, 2025.
Okay. So what's the reason that this case hasn't come to hearing before now?
So apparently, magistrate, this was cited prior, but the owner was going through litigation with the insurance company. So the past officer was given time for them to come into compliance. We started receiving complaints about the disrepair of the roof and the tarp not being on the property and secured. So there was a case, hearing notice was issued. Once litigation was over, we tried to communicate with the owner to let him know that a permit needs to be issued and obtained, and the roof needs to be repaired. They did end up pulling a permit, but that permit, in I think June, that permit became expired. So a hearing notice was issued based off the roof, and we're wanting the owner to reinstate that permit for them to come into compliance and bring the roof back into compliance.
Okay. Anything further from the city? Any other witnesses?
Yes, the photos are included of the conditions of the roof.
Okay.
You'll see that there, the roof is in disrepair and continues to have the blue tarps on it.
Okay. Anything further?
I'm sorry?
Anything further?
Yes, I'd like to go over the case history, just because the city has been receiving complaints due to the condition of the roof for so long. So I just wanted to outline the history of this property. It was originally cited in October 24, 2023 by Code Officer Jerry Bernal. And after not gaining compliance on March 29, 2024, Officer Bernal then issued a courtesy notice given 10 days to comply with Section 7423G for the repair of the roof. On April 3rd, again, Officer Bernal, actually that's when he received the first correspondence from the property owner letting him know about the litigation that was going on. Then on June 21st, 2024, Officer Bernal issued the violation notice because there was still no compliance with the roof after the litigation and all that. He gave 14 days for the owner to comply with the Section 7423G for the repair of the roof. Then finally, in December 9, 2024, the permit was issued. It was good. Then on June 27th, 2025, permitting services supervisor, Ms. Capote, sent a follow-up email to the owner and the contractor, letting them know that the permit had expired, and also sent the document, the change of contractor and application that they needed to fill out and submit to renew that expired permit. On June 27, 2025, I did a reinspection. This property, the property, I spoke with the owner, Mr. Alex Lamosi, and I asked him what his intentions were with complying, and he told me that he was going to start the repair of the roof on July 7th. At that time, I reminded him that his permit had already expired, and what he needed to do was follow through with the renewal of that expired permit.
Okay.
In order to proceed with the repair of the roof. On July 1st, 2025, I checked. The permit was still expired, and the roof remained in disrepair. July 3rd, 2025, I issued a notice of violation, notice of hearing, citing those three violations: 7423G for the roof repairs, 105.4 for the conditions of the permit, and 105.4.1 for the permit intent to be complied within 10 days. And as I mentioned, we are dismissing those two ordinances. My most recent contact with Mr. Lamosi was on 7/10/25, when I hand-delivered the violation, notice of violation and hearing notice. And again, I asked what the intent was, and so he was in the process now of trying to get this permit renewed. To date, the permit remains expired as of checking this morning. And of course, the roof remains in disrepair and with tarps. And as I mentioned, the city has been receiving complaints to administration and code about, the the state of the condition of the roof and the property.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Any other city witnesses? No. All right, who's here for this case? Is that you, sir? Can you come to the podium for me? What's your name, sir?
Alex Lamosi.
Okay, you're the property owner. I'm going to ask the code enforcement officer, you have your case file, code officer? Show him the case file. That's the documents that the city has handed to me that they're asking me to enter into the record. So he's going to go through those documents with you and ask you if you have any objection at the end.
This is when it started. Roof and disrepair. Email, up to litigation. Re-inspection of the condition. July 2024, still in disrepair. June 17th, at that time I took over inspections. It's proof that the permit is expired, as you know. And so it brings us up to the notice that I sent. The roof remained in disrepair. It's communications you sent about the renewal of the permit has expired. July 1.
Any objection to those documents being entered, sir?
No.
Okay, with that, just so the record is clear, in case 3-24-1025, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. So it sounds like you had an insurance litigation matter, is that right?
Yes, first of all, thank you for being patient with me. This is a nightmare that I've gone through over the last 3 years with a rogue contractor. There was a storm in 2022, January, and right before I knew what was happening, there's somebody that was just running around the neighborhood asking to represent us for roof issues. So unbeknownst to me, I just signed the paperwork. What I didn't realize was it was a binding contract with a company called JJ Quality, and I could not get out of that contract.
Okay,
So we started going back and forth with them, and
Okay.
they said they will represent me legally and to be patient with them, which I was patient with them for the whole 2023. They had 2 legal representatives from their firm called Cup something. The paperwork is here as well. They dropped the case twice, and they kept not showing up to court, and the judge kept being lenient with them. And when I became now aggressive with them about being compliant because with the city and also just the neighborhood, and also the repairs were getting worse and worse.
so let me ask you to pause there. Did you have an insurance litigation matter, or did you have a contract litigation matter? You had both?
Had both.
Okay, so keep going.
So after almost 2.5 years of litigation, we won the case in November last year.
Okay,
And that's when the permit was issued in December. And right when they were supposed to start working in December, they tried to pull up maybe December 27th. And they said they'll show up. They didn't show up. The only thing I remember seeing was a notice that the company has sold to another company. So JJ Quality sold to Kelly's Roofing. So I contacted Kelly Roofing in January to ask them about the repairs, which were supposed to have started in December. So they told me they're a new company. They bought JJ Qualities, and right now, because of the situation politically, they do not have manwork, laborers. And the main company, Kelly's Roofing, is based out of the West Coast. So they told me to be patient. So I was patient with them. By the time they got laborers, they had another issue, no tiles. So we're in April now. By the time they got to the tiles, they was gonna start working in June. They showed up on June the 13th, and that's where you see the latest paperwork, pictures you have. They already rolled up the roof. They were going to get started. And that's when I realized there's something off. And they said, I have a concrete roof. So they need to come back and get another recertification of their permit. And that's when I found out actually the permit is already expired through
Okay.
Congress. So now we have to reapply through the permit. And I came here personally myself because I thought I could do it. And they told me the contractor has to be involved. That's when they sent me the paperwork, which I had my part notarized and sent it back to them
And when was that?
yesterday.
Okay.
So I had my part notarized. They need to get their part notarized and then file.
Okay.
And then thereby we'll get our permit and then we can get started. Now, my request would be, based on how they move, and I don't know what excuse they may come up with, I don't think 30 days would be sufficient. I think if I'm given till probably September 1st, I can have sufficient time to push them around and maybe get it completed.
Is it a total re-roof that's required?
Yes, complete.
Okay. Have they indicated to you how long the job will take them to do?
Yeah, it said about 3 weeks tops.
Okay.
If there's no weather issues,
Yeah, there's a lot of ifs. I hear you on the ifs. Okay. Okay. All right, anything else you'd like me to hear?
just be lenient with me a little bit. Give me till maybe September 1st, because it's been difficult dealing with them.
Yeah, you're in quite a difficult spot. But I understand that, and I guess I'm going to give you a little bit more time than that. I'm going to give you basically 60 days from today. But that city's not going to like to hear that because they've been very lenient with you for 2 years. But reasonably, I know it's going to take a little bit of time for you to get the permit because of the way they've cited you. If this was a matter of just complying you out by virtue of having a permit issued, that would be a different conversation. But my understanding, by the way the city has cited this, that compliance is the roof is fixed, correct? Yes. So you have to not only get the permit, but you have to get the work done and then call the city to have him come out and re-inspect the roof and make sure that you're all in compliance. So I'm going to give you 60 days to do that because I think realistically that's probably what you're going to need. But I will also say to you that you don't come back to me for another hearing. So on day 61, the fine will start running that I imposed today. So I would encourage you strongly to keep on your contractor. Contractors are famous for coming up with excuses as to why they haven't started the job, but you should impress upon your contractor the fact that you're 2 years down the line here. And for the city to be that lenient with you is very, very generous on their part. They could have brought you to a hearing a year ago and there would already be fines running. So I'm gonna try to give you enough time to get through, but be diligent on your contractor, and I'm sure hopefully now that you've been through the process of contract dispute, hopefully there's language that if they don't do what they're supposed to do with regard to permits, you have an out and you can get somebody to do it faster, because you need to keep on them, okay? All right, anything else you'd like me to hear?
No, that's it.
All right, anything else from the city? All right, in case 3-24-10295, I've entered the evidentiary case file into the record. I'll find based on the hand delivery of the notice of violation that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of section 7-423 subpart G, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that section on or before September 14th, or a $50 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter. So as I said, on September 15th, the fine will start running if the roof is not on and has been complied out by the code officer. So make sure you keep in touch with him as soon as the roof is done, okay? All right, best of luck to you, sir.
These stipulations will not be signed today.
Is that okay?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is item number 6, case 6-25-11299, and this case will be presented by Michael McGee.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael McGee, Code Compliance Officer for the City of Green Acres. This is case number 6-25-11299. 11299 for the property address at 3812 Jog Road. The property owner is Church in the Palms, Inc., and the tenant is Palm Beach Christian Preparatory. This property was first cited on July 3rd, 2025, with 11 days to comply, which would be July 14th, 2025. Property was cited for Section 8-47, business tax receipt required. I submitted a package for evidence, which includes the proof of ownership from the Palm Beach County property appraiser and the SunBiz for both the businesses. A copy of the notice of violation/hearing notice dated July 3rd, 2025. Proof of service for the notice of violation/hearing notice. It was posted at the property, posted at City Hall, and sent by certified and regular mail. The posting photos and the notarized affidavit of posting. And the photo of the BTRs, existing BTRs for the property.
And what day did you post?
On July 3rd. Originally, it was posted last month along with it's the Sophia T. Sneed, the Palm Beach Christian Preparatory. The property's on Haverhill. The section that I had cited at that time was incorrect. So this is with the correct citation for the business tax receipt being required, and it was posted on July 3rd.
Okay. All right, is the respondent present for this case?
No.
Have you heard from them?
Yes, I spoke with her today. She's just asking for an additional 30 days. She's waiting on a CO change for a mixed use from the Church in the Palms in order to apply for her business tax receipt.
Okay, and what are you asking for in terms of remedy?
30 days, $100 a day after 30 days. I did confirm the 30 days with the respondent.
Okay. Or $100 a day, you said?
Yes.
And you think 30 days is enough time for her to get through that CO?
Well, the school will start August 15th. She really technically
Needs to have
doesn't
that before
it.
then. Okay, okay. Okay, anything further from the city?
No.
All right, for the record, in case 6-25-11299, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present here today. I'll find, based on the affidavit of posting in the case file and the additional notice documents, that the city had good service for today's hearing. And I'll find, based on, I guess, let me ask you a question about that. So the BTR needs to be in whose name?
The listing will have to be under the Palm Beach Christian Preparatory, should be included on that list of BTRs. Once it's completed, it will have all three listed there.
And what's your evidence that that's operating at that location? Is there a sign up? Is there?
She's applied for a BTR for the location.
So she's admitted that that's where she's going to be operating. Okay. Okay, that's sufficient. So with that, I'll find, based on the testimony of the code enforcement officer and the documents in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of section 8-47, and I'll require a respondent to comply with that code section on or before August 15th, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day that the violation continues thereafter.
Next item on the agenda, item number 1, case 11-24-10860. Special Magistrate, that case has complied.
All right, so you're pulling that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is item number 3, case 4-25-11246. Special Magistrate, this case has been rescheduled for the August agenda, so that one is being pulled.
Okay.
Item number 4, case 4-25-11260. Special Magistrate, that case has complied and is being pulled.
Okay.
Last item on the agenda, item number 5, case 6-25-11297. Special Magistrate, that case has been complied and is being pulled. And that concludes all the cases on the agenda.
All right, so with that, I did sign minutes of the June 17th meeting. Anything further for the magistrate?
No.
All right, with that, we'll adjourn at 1:31.
No, we usually just have her sign it.
There's no need for just.
Exactly. So if she wanna do it, then we won't have